Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SA Accounting Academy. Here's a short clip on one of our previous webinars. I hope that you really do enjoy it.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you are surviving this manic month of August. I was laughing with some non-accountants last night when they were asking, why is it that you're looking a bit pale and tired? And I said, it's because August is the Halloween month for accountants. I think it's a really difficult month and a tough month for most of us to get through. I think we're generally surviving on coffee and lack of sleep. There's probably lots of sugar and unhealthy food choices. But I hope you are well. I hope that you are taking care of yourself and that you are taking a moment to also just look after your mental health as well as your physical health while we go through this crazy time. Okay. I always have a quiet chuckle to myself because the first week of September, you cannot find an accountant. I think we are all in hibernation. Anyway, today's session is supposed to be an overview. It's sort of a micro session of the 3 sessions to come. So this is sort of almost a 4-part series that we have. Today is the overview, introduction, sort of a Contiki tour, giving you a taste of everything. A teaser, maybe is a better way to say it. And then we're going to break it down and sort of almost luxuriate in the 3 different elements in the follow-up sessions, where we can take a bit of time and we can talk and we can work things out a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? In depth. Okay. So we're talking ethics, but particularly in our space. But we don't just arrive in the accounting profession. None of us just sort of woke up and we were accountants. We all walked a journey. We all traveled a hard road to get to wherever we are in our profession right now. And that has to be taken into account. We also don't operate as a professional in isolation. Okay. So yes, we're all professionals. And I always love the fact that we talk about being in practice, because that means that we are forever honing our craft and forever trying to improve our craft. We never really are at the end of the journey. I think every single day we're learning and getting better at what we're doing. But we surround our practice with a commercial business. Okay. Whether you are working as the financial director in a business or whether you are working as in practice in a bit of a broader sense, okay, we need to be aware that nothing happens in isolation. So one of the things that I'm very cognizant of, and I'm very let me use the word fascinated by, simply because I spend so much of my time in the ethical space, is this tension that we have between personal business and professional ethics. I think sometimes we run against sort of these challenges that in a personal space, this is what we believe is to be right. In a business space, there might be a challenge between what we would like to do in a personal capacity to what we're needing to do in a business capacity. And then, of course, you throw the professional element in on top of that. Now, if we can have all 3 of those flowing in the same direction, that our personal ethics are supported by the business environment we create, and that business environment and those personal ethics flow in the same direction as our professional ethics, we will have a lot less or much fewer dilemmas and hopefully much fewer challenges. We'll feel a lot less torn apart and torn in different directions around the actions we have to take against the beliefs that we have. But if you have anything that's a bit out of sync, and there's a whole lot of reasons, not nefarious reasons, not, have that evil laugh kind of reasons why you could be out of sync between your personal and your professional, or your personal and your business ethics. They need to be unpacked and they need to be identified. So at least you know that when you hit that situation where you're going to have some tension between the basically the triangle of factors, that you are aware that this is something that needs to be resolved. It is something that needs to be worked through, and you're going to have to weigh up which element you value more, okay, or which element you are bound to more possibly, because possibly from a professional point of view, you're going to have to do something that personally you're going to struggle with. And then in other spaces, professionally, it doesn't go far enough in your mind. Professionally, you actually feel that you need to do more. You're not required to do more, but your personal ethics are driving you to do more. So it's very much almost like you've got these three role players in your space that you need to get to work through. So today's session is really just giving an overview of where I like to think and feel. I am really wanting, I've been doing ethics for about 14, 15 years now. This seems to be the season at this time of year. Whenever you get to the long months, the Septembers and Octobers and all the rest, I definitely brush up my halo when it comes to ethics. But I'm fascinated with real life dilemmas. I'm fascinated with real life problems. And as we evolve in society, in the business world, in our professional space, the dilemmas evolve as well. We are dealing with issues and challenges that our predecessors might not have even thought would have existed. And as such, I welcome questions, or not even just questions, comments, observations. If you want to share, ethics can be quite sensitive. It can be quite personal. It's one thing that I've learned as an ethics presenter is that I pretty much lay myself bare. In many respects, you'll get to know me maybe more than I'm comfortable with sometimes, but it's just the nature of the beast. You have to share and you have to talk things through. I'm pretty confident in myself and confident in my beliefs, so I'm happy to do it. But if you aren't, we can always talk about Bob or Betty or asking for a friend, or hypothetically, this is the situation, and we will all happily respect that as we go through these conversations. Training should be a safe space. Training should be a space where we can wrestle with questions, speak to dilemmas, try and solve things and work through things, and then go back to the real business world. Okay. So as I've mentioned, today's session is going to be broken up between these 4 parts. Okay. And we're going to unpack what we are trying to achieve. Okay. Yeah. So just to give us an idea as to what the plan is for how we're going through it. Very simple agenda, 3 different elements, and slowly bring them together. I always sort of try and sit back and think about, well, what is a quote that really sort of gives me a theme and gives me a feel for the day? I've been using MTS Solomon's quote quite a bit in the last few weeks, where he was sort of saying, to fix this country, we need morals, ethics, and values. Kind of felt like I'd overused that quote a little bit. So I thought, well, you know what? My son is busy doing an Oliver play, doing Charles Dickens' Oliver. And that took me to this quote where I think this really sums up where we are. And it's very interesting that this quote was 1859. Again, the circular nature of life, things come and go. But it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, and it was the winter of despair. And I think this is a very, very powerful quote, just because I think it really encapsulates where everybody is at the moment. I think there are many things to be hopeful about. I think there are pockets of brilliance. I think there are the most amazing things out there for us to see and to focus on and to shine the light on. But I am very realistic about the fact that there is a lot of challenges that we have. There are, we are in a very difficult time in our lives, and for not just South Africa, but the world. But, we have the ups and downs and we work our way through it. Now, for me, it's the season of light. I call myself a grounded optimist. In other words, I believe always that you strive to make things better. You strive to do better. You strive to make the world better. And you can. I believe that you have the power to do that. We are not victim and powerless. We actually do have power if we take action. And that's a large part of why I'm so passionate about doing ethics training and having the conversation, just talking about it, because we need to start somewhere. We need to take a litmus test as to where we're at and where we want to be. So one thing that I get from this is that the world has gone through bad and difficult times in the past and that has got through it.
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.